If you've been in a job for 16 years, you should have the experience and the ability to really negotiate your income and negotiate your annual pay. If you are not doing the up or out method every 2 years, you're probably underpaid.
We have a listener who writes, I am in my 16th year at my publishing job in Boston, where the cost of living is expensive. I make under $60K, and I have no time for a second job, but I need more money. Are any side hustles legit? Are they too good to be true? Where can I start?
There are certainly tons of side hustles that are available to you that you can do while having a full-time job, even if you don't feel like you necessarily have a ton of other time to dedicate to them. I think it really depends on why this person wants to have more money coming in. Is it for a short-term goal? So like they want to buy a car. Or is it for a long-term goal of like, I would like to have more money saved up for retirement? If it's a short-term goal, I just say grit your teeth, pick up a post-work job. Like go walk dogs after you've done a lot of mental labor during the day. You work in publishing, you're probably sitting at a computer, you're probably like hunched over like a little shrimp like I am, and doing something that's very different from your day job may not be the worst thing. Like go walk dogs on Rover or WAG. If it's because you want more money coming in over time, that's a harder conversation, and we need to be really mindful. If you've been in a job for 16 years, you should have the experience and the ability to really negotiate your income and negotiate your annual pay. And what I always tell people is that if you are not doing the up or out method every 2 years, you're probably underpaid. So up or out works like this. Every 2 years, you need to be getting a meaningful raise or promotion, or you need to go somewhere else where you will get a meaningful pay increase. Forbes did a study that people who stay at jobs for longer than 2 years, over the course of their lifetime, get paid half as much. Half. Can you afford to get paid half as much? No, nobody can. So I think there was a big emphasis on being a company man, being loyal back in our parents' generations, but it's because they had a reason to be loyal. They had pension plans. And pension plans are like 401ks, except better in literally every way. Instead of you setting money aside for you in retirement, you picking the investments, you taking all that risk, your company did it. And the longer you stayed somewhere, the more money they guaranteed you every single month in retirement. And so people didn't stay at companies for big pay bumps. They stayed for fat pension checks when they were old and gray. With the rise of the 401k, immediately pensions disappeared. Companies were like, pension who? We don't know her. And now we have to take care of ourselves. So you can't afford to be loyal. You need to look out for number one. You need to make sure your money's right. And if where you're currently at is not valuing the work that you do, if you are not getting a meaningful raise every 2 years, you need to go somewhere else. And especially in a space like publishing, certainly, yes, it's not going to be as lucrative as a finance or a law or a consulting. We get that. But is there a firm that is going to allow you to become a senior editor? Or is there a firm that's going to allow you to become the senior PR leader, the senior marketing person, or maybe even run a smaller imprint or something like that, that's going to give you that rock wall ability to jump from here to here to here so that you can get your money right while also advancing your career?
I'm also a huge fan of thinking in terms of your skills, not just your job title when you're making those moves. Like I came up in the editorial world in New York. It's not a very highly paid world. Yeah. And I have a lot of friends who work in tech now as content designers, and they're using a lot of those same skills. I use the skills I learned in editorial every single day in my job now. So I don't think it has to be the title. You can also think broadly using the skills.
I talk about this in my book, Rich AF. You should not be thinking about your skills like a ladder. They always say the corporate ladder. It's not a ladder. It's a rock wall. Sometimes you got to go left or right, and sometimes you got to go back to be able to jump to the next handhold or foothold. And the reason for that is if you are doing PR at a publishing company, you know you can do a PR at a bank, right? You know you can do PR at a tech company. You know you can do PR for big name celeb clients. I promise you, PR in some of those industries pays a lot better than PR in other industries. And the same thing goes for accounting. The same thing goes for your skills. If you are an editor at a publisher, would you make more working at a newspaper? Would you make more working at a magazine? Would you make more working at a digital publication? You got to think about what you can bring